What's good, y'all? It's Lance from Sports Templates here with our new animated baseball jersey template for After Effects and Photoshop. In today's video, I'll be taking you through this template with this Sports Templates themed baseball jersey. Our newest animated mockup is out now, and if you want to follow along, the link to the fonts used and the Photoshop library with the colors and images will be in the description. That's also where you can find a link to purchase a template, which can be found on sportstemplate.com. But before we get started, I want to remind y'all to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more tutorials like this. Now, before you ever open up the template, with After Effects still closed, you want to install the plugin that is necessary to use it, and it comes into your download of the template itself. It's in a zip folder called PixMap. If you want to open it up, I have a WinRAR. You may use 7-zip or a different method to unzip your files. If you're on Mac, we'll show you how to install it on Mac after this. So I'm going to extract it here. And you'll see in the PixMap folder. So let me close this and get back out, come back in, you get my PixMap folder here. So you have your After Effects file here, plus your how to install text document. So let me bring that over here, and it shows you where to put the file on PC. So on PC, you just want to copy this address. I'm going to open a new tab in my file explorer. I'm going to click on home or click on the bar here, paste that. And so now this will take you to your After Effects folder, but you want to change it where it says version. You want to select all of this, put your After Effects version, After Effects 2024. So you put that and you hit enter, and it'll take you straight to where to put the plugin. You want to click on effects. And so what you want to do then is just copy the folder copy the file from the folder you unzipped and copy it and paste it here. I already have it installed, so I'm not going to paste it again. But that's as easy as it is to install it, and we'll go to Ollie, who will show you how to install it on Mac.
Hello there. So if you're using this template on a Mac, here's how you can install the PixMap plugin onto your After Effects. So once you open the animated football jersey template zip file, you'll find that inside of it, there's another zip. All you need to do is double click it, and it's gonna unzip it. And inside of it, there is another zip file. Just double click it again, and it shows you what's inside of it. But we only need this plugin file. So right click, copy, and then we go to applications, and then basically just choose whatever After Effects version you're using. It's tried with After Effects 2024, so I'd recommend you use this version. So double click, go to plugins, and then right click here, and then paste item. So it's gonna ask you to verify. So I'm just gonna click OK, and you can see that the plugin is installed. Now going back to the file, when I try to open it, you'll see that I'm gonna get this message, which means that you just installed a plugin that's not authorized by Adobe. So Mac is just suspicious of what it is. So you just need to cancel, and you can see if you do that, it's not gonna load. You're gonna get this kind of like colorful result, which means that the plugin is not working. So in order to fix it, you need to go to first of all, you need to close After Effects, and then go to search, system settings, and then from here we go to privacy and security. And if you scroll down, you can find that in security, it just detected that PixMap plugin was blocked. So I would just click allow anyway, and just give it the acceptance here. And let's try opening this again. And on here, we just click open. And you can see that it's loaded and it's working. It's taking the graphics and the designs from the PSD, and you're ready to go ahead with the rest of the tutorial.
Now, when you first open up the template, it should look something like this. But if any of these windows are not open for you, then what you want to do is go to the top where it says window, and want to make sure that your essential graphics, libraries, tools, composition, project, and timeline windows are all open. Once you have all those all open, they may not be in this exact arrangement. That's okay. They don't have to be in this arrangement. Whatever is most comfortable and natural to you, you want to organize your windows like that. But these are the ones you want to make sure you have open. Looking at the timeline from the bottom is where you will find the views that come with the post. By default, it will be open to the one-to-one square view. Clicking to the right, you also have an HD view, and it'll open a little smaller. So if you want to make it bigger, you could use your scroll wheel to zoom in and out. Or I like to do is come to this percentage at the bottom, just hit fit, so it fills up the space I have. And then you also have your, it's 9:16 view, like a Instagram story type of post. But as you edit one of these, you will edit all of these. So I'll work in the HD view just so I can fill up as much space. But any changes I make here will also take effect on the social posts and the square view as well. As far as what's in the different elements of the template, you want to come to your essential graphics menu wherever it is on your screen. And this is where really all the different parts of the templates come together. We're starting at the bottom with our background. We have our stadium environment as the default background, which comes with two options. You have the normal stadium environment, and if you turn on the stadium environment too, you get this second view as well. And then also if you turn off your stadium environment, you have your solid color background where you can change the color here. Well, I'm gonna keep the stadium environment on. I'm gonna go with the default one. And then as we do for all of our templates, we have our hero text, which is the text that we put behind our templates in the default view. I'll turn the stadium off so you can see it better. It's a sticker. And you see it's the text that is behind here. You have your large text and then the small text as well. And I've heard where if I come to the square post, you'll see it's here. The sports templates presents animated jersey mockup. But for this template, we'll turn both of these off. And we'll go with our stadium environment. Moving forward, we have our jersey parts, which is just the colors for everything. So you can either edit these in the Photoshop part, which I'll get to soon, or you can edit the colors to all the different parts of the jersey here. The easiest way I'll show you when you do this is that just use these eyedropper icons and use the tool to change the part of the jersey that you want. And you'll see once we edit the Photoshop file, how this takes place. Custom to all of our templates now is our dynamic lighting. By default, it will be off. If you turn it on, you'll see a slight increase in the lighting from the edge. And the reason it's called dynamic lighting is you get to customize the actual angle of the lighting. So we'll leave this off by default to match kind of where the light comes from in our stadium view. But if you turn it off, if you turn it on and you were to change the background, you can adjust the angle by clicking on the zero, dragging up or down. You'll see you kind of updates now. The lighting kind of comes from underneath on here. And you can rotate it all around to get the lighting to come to wherever you want it to come from. And that'll match your background. Next, we have our embossed graphics, which if we were to zoom in, are the graphics. You can see it kind of has the bevel and the shadow on it. If you turn that off, you see it's all like kind of more of the stitched logos that you would see on a jersey. And we're going to keep these on because we will be working in those layers. Now, if you open up your file folder for the jersey, you'll see two PSD files. You have your design file and your embossed graphics file. I have these open already, so I head into Photoshop. And if you have both of those open, then this is how they should look by default. Okay, so the first thing you want to do in your design file is to open this layer or to show this layer where it says hide before going to After Effects. What this will do basically is show the guide for how everything kind of aligns to the After Effects layer without having to do a whole bunch of trial and error. So you see exactly where everything you place will end up. So at the top you have your shoulders, the left and right ones, or the sleeves rather. You have the front of the jersey and then the collar, both on the inside and the outside. Now for this specific file, you don't really want to add your logos to this. This is more so for your colors or any overall patterns or any stripes that you see. That's more for what your design file is for. So to change the colors, by default, if you click into your folders, like you see the front and the back, your colors themselves will be off. They're actually coming from the background grid. So you can either choose to turn these on and edit these colors here, or if you were to go back to After Effects, you could manually use the eyedropper tool like I mentioned and change the colors of the jersey like this. So just so it's easier to see, I actually changed the colors here. So I want to select all these layers that we're hitting. I would just shift click to select all of them, and then clicking on our color, the red color in our library, and then same thing for the front. All of these layers here, shift click them, and then click on the red, and just so that we can see the colors. So we don't have to do this. We could leave this off and then change the colors in After Effects. I'm just going to change them here so we can kind of see how everything comes together. And then close these. I want to do the same thing for the sleeves. Just select the left and right sleeve and then hit the colors. I'm using the control click to select these without selecting these two right here. In the sleeves menu, we also have these stripes here as well. So just zooming in on those. I'm actually going to take our horizontal stripe. I'm going to take our black. Along here, I'm going to edit this black, and we're just going to make it not as black, just a more of a dark gray. And click it again. And the reason for that being is that when you come into your template, when you have a dark color, the reason for that is that even like the outline on this number is not completely black. It's more of a dark gray, just so you can see the highlights still and the detail in the color. When you make it completely black, you start to lose that detail. So you make that your dark gray, and then I'm going to hit Control Command T, and then drag this down. I'm going to hide the other stripe, the white stripe. Same thing here, make it the dark gray, hide our white stripe, and then Control Command T, and just drag this down until it snaps to the bottom of the sleeve. Okay, so the last thing I want to do for this jersey is I want to get rid of the pinstripes on our black stripe here. So what you can do is select the stripes group. That's where your pinstripes are, and then you want to hit Control click on your stripes, and just hit Control Shift click on the second stripes. What that'll do is that'll make selections of your stripes here, and then you want to hit the layer mask icon. You actually hold Alt or Option while you click it, and then that'll automatically invert the mask so that it doesn't show up on the black stripe here. And then what you can do, just as the layer says, is hide before going to After Effects, and then you just want to save it. And as you save, you want to let it go completely, and then when you go back into After Effects, give it some time to update, and you'll see now it adds pinstripes, our stripes on the bottom of the sleeves, and it takes our colors. We don't have to take it from here. Now going back into Photoshop and now going to our embossed graphics layer, it is the same thing where you want to open up your bottom layer. It's going to show you how everything is going to look before you take it into After Effects. So starting at the front, you'll see that it's kind of split into these 4 sections because, you know, if you ever have a baseball jersey is kind of split across where you button it, but it still needs to be readable. So for the template to be readable, we split it across our 4 sections here. So if you were to click onto your front layer where you have your text, you'll see it all appears as one. And you can change it. If we were to just go with the straight text, for example, and then save that, it'll automatically be kind of split across the 4 sections. But if I save this, or actually, let me make sure I hide this. Then if I bring this down, if I save this again, then going into After Effects, letting it load, you will see that it's all across and it's all lined up and readable without us having to manually adjust each different section to the map. Okay, so back in Photoshop, we want to show this layer again. And what we're going to do is in our layer, we're going to hide this. And we notice that the layer says, or the group says, do not edit. So definitely don't want to edit that one. Just want to hide that. Then I will bring in the library our sports template monogram with the ST, and I kind of want to put it in between the edges of this rightmost panel of the jersey. And then from there, we can bring our sponsor logo down. We can double click and just match the color of our logo there. And then for the number, we can hide this because we don't want our number. Then for the back, We have our player name. So by default, this font here, big noodle tilting, probably won't be in here for you, but we'll put it in the description for you so you can download this and have this font by default when you load it up. Or if you want to change the font, you can do that as well. And just change that to our black color. For the number, we're going to change this to a different font, an Adobe font. So if you're using version of Photoshop from Adobe CC, then you can get this from Adobe Fonts. And we're going to make that black as well. We're going to hit this drop down menu next to the FX and hit the eyeball icon over stroke just to hide that. Now that we don't have to show, we can actually bring this closer together. So I'm going to select here and just change this to 0. And I'll kind of bring that closer together. Moving up, we'll see the back of the collar. There's a logo here. So now we want to get into our sports templates logo. So we can just drag these in here. It's going to be big. So you just want to drag that down. And we can actually just put this right exactly to where your logo icon is. And click on the Your Logo one and delete that. Same thing with these Your Logo ones. Drag in sports templates logo and then just fit it directly over top of that. Like match the width and then kind of center it. Then we can duplicate it by holding Alt or Option and clicking on it and then just dragging that over while holding that. And then clicking on your logo icon, just deleting that. That'll be all our logos for the front and the back. And so we just hide this, hit save, then go back in After Effects, let it load, and now we'll see. Okay, so looking at the jersey, I'm seeing that our sponsor logo is a little close to the center. I want to kind of move it over more towards the left. So going back into Photoshop, I'm going to show that later, and then I'm gonna bring this, and I wanted it in line with the top of the jersey. We can see that it is in line with the top, not the top of the jersey, the top of our monogram by these pink lines, our smart guides. And if you're not seeing the smart guides, you're gonna go to View, Show, make sure your smart guides are on, and this will kind of make sure everything's in line with the jersey. And just move this over more towards the left. Hide that, save it, and come back into After Effects. Load, and that's looking better right there. And these are actually all of the parts of the jersey from Photoshop. So everything you want to edit now is going to be in After Effects. So we did have our colors edited on Photoshop, but I do like to edit them here just to make sure there's no pixels kind of poking through that have any blue on them. And everything is going to be red. For our buttons, I'm going to start them off red, and then I'm going to select this again and just kind of darken them a little bit just so you can see them a little better. There we go. Like I said, we're going to keep our dynamic lighting off and then setting this back to fit. You see the front of the jersey is ready, and if you go about halfway through and make that load, the back of the jersey is set as well. Now what I like to do before I render is to just hit space and let it load at the bottom just to kind of play one way through. I'm gonna come back when it's ready. Now when I let that load up until the point where it's playing through smoothly, it's just that I find it quicker to render once you do this as opposed to trying to render it without letting it play through first. And speaking of that, the file is ready to render. So how I like to render mine is there's a variety of methods, but I go to File, Export, and then Add to Adobe Media Encoder Queue. Click that, and then the media encoder is a separate app, so you want to let that load up. Okay, once it loads up, it's going to take a moment, but then it's going to add your file into the queue. And you see it added the HD format. So if you ever wanted the social or the square post, you just want to make sure you clicked onto them. And then again, it's the same process: File, Export, and then add to the media encoder queue. So back in your queue, we have our HD one. Now I typically leave all the settings at default, but if you click on the name, it's going to take a minute to connect to the server. Once that happens, it brings you up some options. Like I said, I leave all these at default usually. The one thing I will adjust maybe might be the location, but it's just going to put back into the folder where I created this file, so I'll be set. And you change the name, your format, settings, everything is going to tell you how big the file should be. just hit OK afterwards. Then you hit this green play button, start rendering. Just like that, you're finished. Now when your video open, you'll see that it will loop on its own continuously. But I do want to thank you all for watching this tutorial and following along. Like I said, if you want to get this template for yourself, you can do so in the link in the description or at sportstemplates.com. Or if you want to stay up to date with us, anytime we drop a new tutorial for a new template, then make sure you turn on that notification bell and follow us on social media. Thank you.